All right, I want to be talking about the surgery that I'm headed for and like all of the things I'm doing to prep and like almost vlogging it. I've already recorded some stuff back in December. Today is January 12th, and it's almost 2 a.m. and I just want to like rapid fire get up to speed. There's like one big thing I feel like I need to address, but I kind of want to start at the beginning of the story. So I'm headed for tethered cord release surgery with Dr. Petra Klinge in Rhode Island at Brown University Health. We first started looking at tethered cord after finding that I measured borderline feet for Chiari. That was Dr. Guggenheim and I in like summer to fall of 2022. Couldn't get the clearest images for the tethered cord imaging, but it was measuring right around diagnostic cutoff for that as well. And the local doctor who specialized in like EDS and adult tethered cord wasn't taking people from outside of her region in Oregon. I wasn't having very many symptoms of tethered cord that I knew of at the time. So we put that sort of on hold because I ended up also being diagnosed with degenerative disc disease, and subsequently summer 2023 put myself into a massive flare, needed epidural steroid injections, but was on oral steroids for over a month in the like meantime until I could get that so my back could heal, because if it gets too inflamed in the lumbar spine where I had my flare, you can't get enough blood flow to bring like nutrients and cell parts in to like heal. So 6 weeks after putting myself into this flare, I have a stroke related to the oral steroids, most likely weakening my connective tissue, on top of I had recently had a COVID exposure, which I'm particularly susceptible to COVID for a few reasons that are a different story time. So is the whole back injury thing. Oh my God, that was a nightmare. But because of the steroids, because I was like suddenly doing nothing but eating the same amount that I had been, or even more at times because of the steroids, I ended up gaining quite a bit of weight, and then had like sort of steadily started to lose it as I became involved with my best friend's baby, who I'm helping raise as of a little over a year ago. And then at some point that like weight loss accelerated, and it wasn't intentional. I do have a history of restrictive eating and like body image issues, and I was really scared to fall into that situation, which was why at one point when my weight had gotten the highest it had ever been, I finally had gotten my PCOS diagnosis at the same time, and I was offered potentially to go on GLP-1s, but I wasn't sure I could do that and like be healthy about it, especially because my dad would describe it as like a huge appetite suppressant, and like at my baseline on the stimulant I'm on for my narcolepsy, I forget to eat meals during the day a lot of the time anyway, and I didn't want to be like triggered by a medication into disordered eating. Like I'd rather have the slightly worse pain. And then we also tried putting me on Slind, which is a particular type of birth control called like a progestin, and I take it through the placebo days too, just around the clock, because I find it helps me not have as bad of headaches, because like the drop in progesterone, even though it's like kind of a long acting pill, I would still be more migraine-y if I skipped it for a few days. But it's also more forgiving than like when I was on norethindrone, where like if I missed it by a few hours on norethindrone, I felt off. So it's been a lot smoother, and I've actually achieved amenorrhea, which has been delightful. That was one of my goals when I got at the marina, and it did the opposite for me. It made everything worse. That's just my experience. I don't even know if it would be my experience if I tried it again now. But the Slind has been going very well for me, and I had like started to lose the weight a little bit just from like being more active again, which was great. I felt like I was building muscle, and then just like something happened, and I ended up in this slide where I lost weight like kind of scary fast. And I am now like clinically malnourished, and the ER like missed it. They did a urinalysis that showed elevated like protein and some other stuff, and like the only one they were concerned by was sugars, and so then they did my blood sugar and it was normal. So it wasn't like, oh my god, you've developed type 1 diabetes, or type 2 for that matter. Like, that's run in my family, but I also have a history of autoimmune conditions, and type 1 is autoimmune, so I'm like, could be either. But because my blood sugar was normal, they like didn't pay attention to the other elevated levels. And then we ran some more blood tests related to it, where I was like, I'm concerned I'm malnourished, because I got to the point where I was eating like maybe one meal a day, sometimes not even like a full meal. And I'm not saying this to glamorize it, like I was not doing well. I needed to like do more to take care of myself. And also like I'm really struggling, just like getting through each day, much less getting like proper nutrition. And so my Dr. Guggenheim has prescribed me some additional nutrition, but I'm starting to get worried with like the date that I'm supposed to have the tethered cord surgery, which is in March, that like if my insurance doesn't start covering these shakes pretty soon, like I'm very concerned I'm not gonna be able to like put on enough muscle before the surgery and like be getting enough in like nutrition every day after the surgery to make like to be able to heal and make progress. And I want to be like keeping you guys updated on what's going on with that, and like all of the other parts of preparing for surgery, because I know that this is like a surgery with a doctor that a lot of people are really interested in, and that she's like really trying to open up as much availability as she can to serve our population. And I want people, like I've seen so many comments on other people's videos about it saying like, you're making me less scared for my surgery. And I just want to keep you guys up to date on what's going on. And I wanted to get this off my chest, which is that like I've lost a ton of weight, and I'm like not happy with it. I don't want to be this skinny in this like political climate, and with like what's going on with like people in Hollywood and trends, and like so many people being like struggling to get access to enough food, and the recession, and like, but I also want to be able to show up as myself and like be honest. And I don't know, I am clinically malnourished. Was it elevated or low? I can't even remember right now. Hold on, let me check. Elevated phosphorus levels. So anyway, this is the situation my body's in. I'm not trying to glamorize it. I'm like actively trying to eat more, and then eventually add some exercise to try to build some muscle up, because I know that if you start with more muscle before a surgery, you can often like regain strength after the surgery to a higher level more quickly, because like you start with some to lose with the reduced activity. But yeah, I'm really not trying to glamorize tiny bodies. In fact, I'm showing up in an ill body, and I really don't want any compliments or like congratulations on this. This was not my intent, and I don't like that it happened.